Good morning everyone and welcome to the new Hyundai Kona 2024. This is the newest version, the third electric version of the Kona, and so many things have changed, so stay tuned. There will be a lot of videos about this car. A few features that are new. We have battery warming. The battery is being heated by a button or when you navigate to a charger. We have more range, we have a tiny bit bigger battery, we have a new charging curve. I already have seen 103 kilowatt when I plugged in at 30%, and we're going to do a charging test. We're going to do a range test at 110 and at 130. Now today I will show you the car outside, inside, show you everything. We talk about all the specs that you can have. This car is the fully spec version. Thanks to Hyundai for lending me this car for 2 weeks. We go through the price list and everything else. Let's look at the Kona a bit. We still have the charging port in front, which is cool, and we have those plastic thingies in front. We have an indicator where our state of charge is. This car has 19-inch wheels, but you can also have 17-inch wheels, which are standard. It is a bit bigger. I think I have seen 13 centimeters or so longer. It's a tiny bit wider. Not too much, 2 centimeters. Height is the same. The trunk is electric, but it takes a long time, even though in the infotainment system is set on fast. And we have a normal close button here on top. The trunk has a reasonable space. We have a gigantic pocket down here for charging cables, the V2L adapter and everything. We have a little pocket plastic here, and that's it. In the front, when I find it, where is it? Is it here? In the front, we have now a Frunk. You can open this, it fits, I'm sure, both charging cables. Looks great, 27-liter space. In the rear seats we have seat heating, and in 3 steps, not just on and off. We have a little net. We have a nice armrest with 2 cup holders here. We have 2 USB-Cs down there, air vents, and a 250 volt 16 amp socket here for devices. I'm sitting here in the rear. I have this front seat to my height. I'm 180 centimeters, 6 feet, and I have barely any leg room. I'm touching, but the seat is on the lowest position, and I can fit my shoes underneath, so that's nice. Armrest is nice and comfortable. If I close this door, also comfortable. Nice, feels good. Headroom. I have, I would say, this much. It's fine. What is this? 2 inches, 5 centimeters, something like this. It is a comfortable seat, a bit slippery. The front one is the same. It's a bit harder and a bit slippery, but leg room is not the best. The front seat. The seat, like I said, is a bit slippery and not very cushiony, so I don't find it as an amazing seat. It's a bit hard, and what I noticed right away when I got into the car yesterday is the steering wheel. So when I adjust my seat in a position distance to the pedals that is normal, and to this where you put your leg so it's rested and not too high, so normal position, the steering wheel is very far away, and that's all I have. Where is it? There. I can go farther away, but not closer to me, and it's a bit too far away, so I have to sit a bit more up so I can reach it. That's a bit sad. But headroom, I have this much. This is so much headroom, there's no problem at all. In the front we have our window control, we have our memory seats. Here we have our light control, parking, your trunk opening, parking brake, that's what I wanted to say. We have our control for the electric seats. On the left on the steering wheel we have our cruise control settings. On the right we have our music and voice command and a favorite button. We still have our region selectors, pedal shifters. That's awesome. There's a new charging window. When you're charging, this big screen appears down here. We have our charging power. I just plugged in at 81%, so that's okay. It tells us the minutes to 100% and the range at 100%. That's done very nicely. The gear selector is now here on the side, the same as the Ioniq 5. We have still the big screen, also very similar to the Ioniq 5. Underneath we have buttons to get to special areas. Home, you still have a start stop button, map, search, media, and then a favorite button, and setup, your volume. Down underneath we have our climate with every button. Driver only is still there. You don't have to switch to see that, it's always on. Underneath that we have two USB-Cs and 12-volt outlet here, and this USB-C you can switch between fast charging or if you want to use Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Underneath we have wireless charging, and then we have seat heating, seat cooling, steering wheel heater, and the drive mode. And this is now not a button. You can go left and right, and when you go left you go from, for example, comfort to eco, and right from comfort to sport. That's done neatly. And down here we have two cup holders. We have a gigantic pocket here and even one in here. The infotainment system. You have your home screen where you have your map, your media, then you already get to EV, and you can change the order. So you can move this over if you want. You have 3 pages. Phone projection, that's Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, weather, calendar, sports, whoever needs this. Your settings, which you can also get here with the setup button. I love that you can get into setup with just one button here. You don't have to go into valet mode, vehicle diagnostic, notification, voice memo, and online manual. And like I said, you can switch these around, but you cannot add or delete something. So this is how it is. And when you are somewhere, you always have your extra options here, and you have your home or back. And of course you have a home button here, and the volume button is also your mute or stop music, depending on what you're doing. In the settings you have your vehicle, and you can change your driver assistance, but you can also put your favorite button here or here to either EV, driver assistant, and stuff like this, because we need this function, the favorite, to go into driver assist. You will see that when we drive. And then you have millions of settings for the seats, for the climate, for the lights, the doors. One touch indicator can be different flashes. Convenience, your digital key. This car is supporting a digital key, so with your phone. Drive mode, you only have one setting, that in eco mode. The climate is also in eco, but you can turn that off. And like I said, you always have extra settings. You have, like I said, and this is just, these settings here is the same as these settings here. You can get out of here, and then you can go into electric vehicle where you have battery conditioning, where you can activate it with a button. You have your utility mode, and that means it's heating up the battery. And I have seen 4.5 kilowatt. Plug-in charge is now included. Awesome. Navigation settings. I find it sad that in the map I cannot change the view, so if it's dark or bright, but you can do it in here, so that at night it's always dark, but during the day it can be bright or dark. Your sound settings, your layout of your instrument cluster. You have 2 views. I will show that when we drive. Buttons, blue link, you can have your app and everything. Let's go into the different things. Let's go into the map. Now I have it in dark. If I want it in day mode, like I said, I can't do that here. I have to go into setup, navigation, map, and then go into clean. And then I can go back to map here with a button. It looks like this. You can change your view, of course. Traffic info, EV range can be showed. It's still not amazing. and it still does this when you press somewhere that it wants to go. So that's still the same thing. It didn't change that. We're gonna do let's navigate to somewhere far and see if it puts in the chargers automatically. Oh, I want to go to Dresden, the city. Can I go to Dresden, the city? That would be nice. Let's do okay. Dresden, there we go. Set as destination. Fastest. Battery capacity may be insufficient. Would you like to stop at an EV charging station? Yes. How many charging stations will it add? It should add 2 or 3 even. It just does 1 in Prague. Okay. Does it say anything how? Yes, it says from 29% to 100% we're charging there. That's nice. And we arrive in Dresden with 47%. Nicely done. And I can look at each thing. Real-time information from the actual based on station. Deactivate this pop-up. Awesome. It shows me there are 2 hyperchargers, 8 DC chargers, 9 AC chargers. Awesome. That is nice. That is very nice. I like it. Done. Well, let's get rid of this. Then, route cancelled. We go to EV settings because this is now so awesome. Right now, here on the left, you see your charge limit. You can set it here. AC charging, you can change the power and whatnot. Here you see your history of your consumption. Here you can unlock the charging cable. Here, if it wouldn't be charging, is activate the battery conditioning, so preheating. It's right there. So when I have my EV on the favorite button on the steering wheel, I press it and I can change it right here. That's awesome. And remember back in the day, the real-time consumption of the car, so driving, electronics, climate and battery care was always hidden. You have to press and press. It's right here, right now. It's dark now because we're charging. You'll see it when we drive. And I can see battery care, the heating, the climate. It's awesome. And the percentage of my drive. Really done well. And I can go into the different things. It's really great. It's awesome. I love it. This is the key, and for whatever reason there's an extra key, so a physical key that's not inside the normal key, but in the key we have lock, unlock, hold. I think this can be to turn on our self-driving out of a parking garage, because there are the arrows for front and so forward and reverse, or turning on the climate when you're outside of the car. But it's pretty big, UFO form, but that's okay. Now, when you turn the car on, the beeping if you don't have your seatbelt on is gone. You still have a welcome sound even though I turned it on, off. There's a different sound, and you have this, but that's fine. But let's go. Right. Set it into reverse. You don't have the beeping anymore with reverse. You have a 360-degree camera. It looks great. And you can switch these cameras on while driving for the front or for the rear. Now, something that's still in here that you can do is you can turn lane assist off by pressing the self-steering button. What it doesn't have anymore is then when you put it into iPedal, it doesn't beep. Now what it has, this is a EU regulation, when you're driving and there's a speed limit, it will beep that it recognizes the speed limit. When you drive 1 km/h faster, it will beep again. And when you're under the speed limit, accelerate again above the speed limit, just 1 km/h, it will beep again. And when you don't look in the front, just a bit to the left, the driver attention warning will come on as well. But you can switch both off. But better than the Ioniq 6, because maybe it has new software now, but when I drove it, Ioniq 6 had only warning on or speed sign recognition or traffic sign recognition off. I have it here on my favorite. And then, oh, I have it, I'm in German, but it's fine. And then I can go into attention and turn it off. And I can go into speed recognition and just information, no warning. Cruise control, turn on here, automatically set to the speed that you're going, and then as usual, long press is 10 kilometers an hour more or less, and a short press is just 1 kilometer an hour more. You have your distance setting 1 to 4, and you go through all the settings. I'm in 3. Then you have a self-steering, 1 button, and the self-steering also stays on when you turn cruise control off now. And then with this button you have pause, cruise control, and resume. And the great thing is I'm in iPedal, and if I turn it off, no beeping. The app. In the app you can lock, unlock, start the climate, and what's amazing, in remote you can start the preconditioning of the battery. Oh, and it even tells you when the battery is cold, so there's a little warning, and you can see, oh, what you want. Do you want to heat up the battery? It's awesome that it does that. You can see your state of charge, your range, of course, that you're charging right now. Like I said, in remote you can do so many things. And when you preheat the car, and by the way, preheating now works without being plugged in. Awesome. Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, I don't know, Ioniq 6, Ioniq 5 couldn't do it, Kia Niro, Kia EV6 couldn't do it, Hyundai Kona can now do it. So scheduled charging, not via the app. I mean scheduled charging, not plugged in, it can now preheat the car and whatever. And you can do so many new things. Steering wheel warmer can be with the climate. How long, seat settings, can the seat heater can be on, or seat ventilation. You can all do that via the app. Really well done. It still has, when you want to change something, it takes a while, and you have to put in your PIN so you can have access to it. And when you send one thing, then you have to wait a bit, and then you can do the next thing. But that's like it was, but that's totally fine. I have seen, where was it? Efficiency since last reset, since recharging, you can see those. This is awesome. And here it would say, it says that there's 87% to 100%, an hour and 35 minutes, because I'm charging AC. And all of this, it's really amazing. You can see where the car is, where you are. Done really well. I love it. The head-up display now is not reflected from a screen that comes up. It's with the windshield, and it's awesome. It looks great. Very well done. Important is the 19-inch wheels that this press car has on is not good for consumption. Even in the flyer, in the price list of Hyundai, when you look at the numbers, it tells you a WLTP range. Oh my God, it's more than I thought. 514 kilometers WLTP range combined with the 17-inch wheels, 454. That's 60 kilometers less. And this is the summer tires, 60 kilometers less. Wow, that's, what is that, almost 15%? That is a lot of difference. And I wanted to show you the instant consumption. Now when we're not charging, it has to be on. Yes, then it shows you for driving, climate, your electronics, and your battery care. So if you're heating or cooling the battery. Heat is now taking right now 480 watts. Electronics 620, 600 watts. With driving, this goes down. We are leaving this up when we're driving. The cockpit views. You have different views here. In the middle, you can only switch between your driving data, which is every start, after charging, or whenever you reset, and your tire pressure. Then you have your navigation or your compass, and then your assist system where you can't do anything. That's just everything you have. If you want to switch your view, you have to go into setup, and I think it's this. Let's look. You have to go into theme, and then you can have simple, what you just seen, and classic. In classic, you don't have a digital speedometer. So only in simple you have it, that's the only views. After that you have different colors. For sport it's just, but it's the same design, it's just a different color. Now let's accelerate. I have draggy running. Let's see how the acceleration is. Sport mode. And 7.58 seconds verified. That's pretty much what what Hyundai says. Yeah, the acceleration, it has no punch. It's very gradual. It's not that amazing, so it doesn't feel too electric. if you understand what I mean. So what I noticed in drive modes is that the old Hyundais and Kias, when you switch through the drive mode, there was also always a jerky movement because the position of the accelerator pedal was a different power in sport mode than in normal or in eco. And now when you go through, you feel that there's a change, but it's really okay. It's not a big thing, it's totally fine. The same with regen. When you go through the levels, you feel it, but it's not bad. It's totally fine. They improved here big time. Let's drive a bit faster. Top speed should be 172. Let's see. 179 on the speedometer. Regen is good. Power is not overwhelming. Also because the power, it's loud in here, but 180, understandable. Also important, when you accelerate fully now, you don't, because the power is reduced, not so aggressive, there is no torque steer. Right now I feel it a bit, but it's totally fine. 150. Loudness is there. It's okay. It's not amazing. Yeah, it's okay. Power, regen, no jerk, Autobahn, fast pressure. We did everything. We're done. Look at me. Are we all recording? Yes, we are. That's nice. And the sound looks good. Acceleration didn't move anything. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Kona is better in some things and worse in some other things. That's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.